The warm summer sun filtered through the dense canopy of trees, casting dappled patterns of light and shadow on the forest floor. It was a day like any other in our small town, where time seemed to move at its own leisurely pace. But for a group of adventurous children, including myself, this particular day held the promise of excitement and discovery. I was 10 years old at the time, living with my parents in a cozy house on the outskirts of town. Our neighborhood was nestled amidst thick woods, a natural playground for children with vivid imaginations and boundless energy. On this particular afternoon, my friends and I had decided to explore beyond the usual boundaries of our neighborhood, venturing deeper into the woods than we had ever dared before. As we trudged through the undergrowth, our laughter echoed through the trees, mingling with the chirping of birds and the rustle of leaves. We chased each other along winding paths, our spirits high with the thrill of adventure. But as we ventured deeper into the woods, a sense of curiosity began to gnaw at the edges of my mind, urging me to explore further, to seek out the secrets hidden within the shadows. It was then that we stumbled upon the forgotten house, hidden behind a curtain of ivy and overgrown shrubbery. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing more than a crumbling relic of a bygone era, its weather-beaten facade barely visible through the tangle of vegetation that surrounded it. But as we drew closer, a sense of foreboding washed over me, a feeling that there was more to this house than met the eye. Undeterred by the eerie atmosphere, my friends and I pushed our way through the tangled mess of vegetation and stepped into the eerie silence of the abandoned property. The air was thick with dust, and the floorboards creaked beneath our feet as we cautiously made our way through the dimly lit interior. The house was frozen in time, its furniture draped in dusty sheets, cobwebs clinging to every corner. But as we explored further, we began to notice something unsettling. Pictures lining the walls, faces distorted in anguish, eyes hollow and empty. It was as if the very walls of the house were whispering tales of sorrow and despair. As we delved deeper into the house, I felt a chill run down my spine, a sense of unease settling in the pit of my stomach. Memories long buried began to resurface, fragments of a past I had tried so hard to forget. I remembered the nightmares that haunted my childhood, the shadowy figures that lurked in the darkness, their eyes burning with malice. I remembered the whispered voices that echoed through the halls of my mind, urging me to remember, to confront the truth that lay buried within. And then, in the darkest corner of the house, hidden beneath layers of dust and decay, I found it. A journal, its pages yellowed with age, its words a haunting reflection of my own fragmented memories. As I flipped through the pages, the truth slowly began to unravel before me. I had lived in this house as a child, my family torn apart by tragedy and loss. I had witnessed things no child should ever have to see, endured horrors that had been locked away in the depths of my mind. But as the memories flooded back, so too did the shadows that had haunted my past. The whispers grew louder, the shadows deeper, until I felt as though I was drowning in a sea of darkness. With a sense of dread creeping over me, I realized that some secrets were meant to stay buried, that some memories were better left forgotten. But as I turned to leave the house behind, I couldn't shake the feeling that the shadows of the past would always be a part of me, lurking just beneath the surface, waiting to be unveiled once more. Chapter 2. Echoes of the Past. As I emerged from the depths of the abandoned house, my mind was awash with conflicting emotions. Part of me wanted nothing more than to forget what I had seen, to bury the memories once and for all and move on with my life. But another part of me, a small voice whispering in the back of my mind, urged me to confront the truth, to delve deeper into the mysteries of my past. Over the following days, I found myself drawn back to the forgotten house, unable to shake the feeling that there was something I had missed, something hidden within its decaying walls that held the key to unlocking the secrets of my childhood. Despite the warnings of my friends who sensed the darkness that lurked within those walls, I returned to the house again and again, determined to uncover the truth. With each visit, the house seemed to come alive around me, its shadows shifting and swirling like specters in the night. I delved deeper into its mysteries, scouring every inch of the decaying interior in search of clues. And with each discovery, the memories of my childhood grew clearer, the pieces of the puzzle falling into place like a macabre jigsaw. I remembered the day my family had moved into the house, the excitement tinged with apprehension as we stepped across the threshold into our new home. I remembered the sense of unease that had settled over us like a shroud, the feeling that we were not alone in the darkness. As I flipped through the pages of the journal I had found, I pieced together the fragments of my past, the memories that had been locked away in the recesses of my mind. I read of a family torn apart by tragedy, of a father consumed by grief and madness, of a mother driven to the brink of insanity by the horrors she had witnessed. But amidst the darkness, there were moments of light, fleeting glimpses of happiness and joy that had been all too rare in my childhood. I remembered the laughter of my siblings, the warmth of my mother's embrace, the sense of belonging that had eluded us for so long. And yet, even as I delved deeper into the mysteries of my past, I could not shake the feeling that there was something darker lurking beneath the surface, something that had been hidden from me for so long. It was as if the very walls of the house were alive with the echoes of the past, whispering secrets that had long been forgotten. As I sat alone in the darkness of the abandoned house, the journal clutched tightly in my hands, I realized that the truth was more terrifying than I had ever imagined. The shadows of the past were closing in around me, their whispers growing louder with each passing moment, and as I gazed into the darkness, I knew that I could no longer deny the truth that lay buried within the depths of my own mind. Chapter 3. Confronting the darkness with the weight of the journal pressing heavily on my mind, I knew that I could no longer ignore the shadows of the past that lurked within the recesses of my mind. I had to confront the darkness head-on to uncover the truth that had been hidden from me for so long. Armed with nothing but my memories and the journal that had become my lifeline, I delved deeper into the mysteries of my childhood, determined to uncover the truth no matter the cost. But with each revelation, the darkness seemed to grow stronger, its tendrils reaching out to ensnare me in its grasp. I revisited the places of my childhood, the familiar streets and alleys now cloaked in an eerie silence. I searched for answers in the faces of those who had known me as a child, hoping to find some clue, some shred of evidence that would lead me closer to the truth. But the deeper I delved, the more elusive the truth became, slipping through my fingers like smoke on the wind. It was as if the very fabric of reality was unraveling around me, the lines between past and present blurring, until I no longer knew where one ended and the other began. And then, just when I thought I had reached the limits of my sanity, I stumbled upon a revelation that shook me to my core. Hidden within the pages of the journal, buried beneath layers of cryptic prose and half-forgotten memories, was the key to unlocking the truth that had eluded me for so long. I read of a darkness that had plagued my family for generations, a curse that had twisted the minds of those who had come before me. I read of sacrifices made in the name of power and greed, of secrets buried beneath the foundations of our very existence. But amidst the darkness there was a glimmer of hope, a chance for redemption that had long been denied to my family. I read of a prophecy foretold by ancient seers, a prophecy that spoke of a chosen one who would rise from the ashes of despair to vanquish the darkness once and for all. As I read those words, a sense of clarity washed over me, a feeling of purpose that had long been absent from my life. I knew that I was the chosen one, the one who would fulfill the prophecy and bring an end to the darkness that had plagued my family for so long. With newfound determination coursing through my veins, I set out to confront the darkness head-on, to vanquish the shadows that had haunted me for so long. Armed with the knowledge contained within the journal, I embarked on a journey that would take me to the very heart of the darkness, to confront the source of all my nightmares once and for all. Chapter 4. The Final Confrontation. As I ventured deeper into the heart of the forest, the darkness seemed to close in around me, its tendrils reaching out to ensnare me in its grasp. But I pressed on, driven by a sense of purpose that burned like a beacon in the darkness. With each step I took, the shadows grew stronger, their whispers echoing in the depths of my mind. But I refused to be swayed, to be consumed by the darkness that had haunted me for so long. And then, at last, I reached the clearing at the center of the forest, where the darkness coiled like a serpent, its malevolent presence palpable in the air. I knew that this was the source of all my nightmares, the darkness that had plagued my family for generations. With a sense of determination burning in my heart, I stepped forward to confront the darkness once and for all. But as I did, a figure stepped out from the shadows, its form twisted and grotesque, its eyes burning with malice. It was the embodiment of all my fears, the darkness made flesh. And as it advanced towards me, I knew that this would be the final battle, the ultimate test of my strength and courage. With a cry of defiance, I raised the journal high above my head, channeling the power contained within its pages. and as I did, a blinding light erupted from its pages, engulfing the darkness in its brilliance. For a moment, everything was consumed in a dazzling white light, and then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the darkness was gone, banished from the world forever. As I stood amidst the ruins of the clearing, the echoes of the final battle still ringing in my ears, I knew that I had finally triumphed over the darkness that had haunted me for so long. And as I looked up at the clear blue sky above, I knew that I was free at last, free to live my life without fear, without the shadows of the past to hold me back. And though the memories of my childhood would always linger in the depths of my mind, I knew that they no longer held any power over me, for I had confronted the darkness head-on and emerged victorious on the other side. And as I walked out of the forest, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, I knew that I was ready to face whatever the future held, armed with nothing but the strength of my own conviction.